How do you try to harness or synergize people from different background, different outlook, different styles? How do you bring them together? Because everybody has their own kind of way of doing things and it's scattered, everything is scattered. So for that challenge, I think what I believe is if you have a common goal, if you have a common vision, that's a starting point. And how you create that common vision is also important. If you involve people to create that common vision, there is commitment. If people are not involved, there's no commitment. So once you're able to get people together, whether it's a family or a business or a non-profit, and people are involved in creating a goal together, that becomes a common goal, a common vision, and that drives all the activities around it. So yes, having different outlook, different ideas, different approaches is not negative. In fact, it is very positive. Because the word synergy that we use in the corporate world can only happen when there are differences. If there are no differences, there's no synergy. If everybody is the same in your team, then you can't achieve much because we're all the same. But if you're able to use people's differences, then you create synergy because you create ideas of how to get there. Now, the important thing is if the goal is not common, then you got a problem. It's like you playing football. You might be playing 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 or 4-3-3, but you don't know where you're scoring. You're passing the ball, you're dribbling, you're tackling, but you don't know where you're going. That becomes a huge problem. So I would suggest for that group is to go back to the common vision. Same thing happens in a family when husband and wife are arguing or the kids. Many times they don't have a common vision. If they all invest their time and energy to create a common goal, a problem happens, you say, how does this problem help us to get there? Then you become solution focused, not problem focused. Azim, all we're talking about right now is good, but how do we do it? What you're saying was that, it's one thing to have a concept, a philosophy, but another thing to actually implement it and do it. So I thought it was a very good question. I thought maybe it'd be good to kind of share that before I talk about the 5 commitments. So I would say in this case, you're right. Implementation is the hard thing. So what I would suggest is that whatever you take from here today, you want to take away at least one thing. At least one thing that you want to implement. Not 40 things. You won't do 40 things. Trust me. But one thing. That one thing that you feel is your key priority that you've learned today, either from your group or from somebody else or from me. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who said it. Doesn't matter who's right. What matters is what is right. Even in your teams, doesn't matter who's right. What is right. That's more powerful. So take one thing and then I would suggest work with weekly plans, not daily plans. Daily is not effective. Daily plans is a sense of urgency, firefighting. Week is good. You know why? Because in a week there are 7 days. There's Sunday, there's Saturday, there's evenings. So by doing that, you're able to plan in a much more holistic, much more balanced perspective. You schedule your week in a way that you put your things that you want to do so that you are able to balance it out. And guess what? How many hours in a week? How many? 168 hours in a week. Okay? You sleep 50 hours. 118 hours. You work 50 hours. 68 hours. You commute 18 hours. Left with 50 hours. You exercise 1 hour a day. 43 hours. You meditate 1 hour a day. 34 hours left. Where's the time going? There is no shortage of time. Barack Obama, Dilshad, me, you, we all have the same time. We all have 168 hours. A level playing field. What we do with the time. And the 50 hours we put at work, where does the time go? In my consulting work, I have companies I work with across the world. I find that most people waste 30% of their time at work. When I say waste 30%, I'm not saying they're not working hard or they're lazy. But time goes wasted in duplication, miscommunication, focusing on urgent, not important, firefighting. So I tell my clients, forget about 30%, but even if you reduce 10%, how much will they be worth in savings? So implementation is important, work on a week. So yeah, people have big goals. Somebody said to me that I want to work in AKDN, but I also want to be successful. How do I do that? It's nice to have a dream, but how do I achieve it? I said, you don't worry about, you have a big dream, but every week, if you're doing some Acadian work, that's implementation. Forget the big things. Do the small things well.